Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today we're laying under the rig because it's nice and cool. I'm kidding. We've got a light that isn't working because these wires, my theory is these wires aren't a big enough gauge to have stayed properly in this connector, or they just vibrated and cut themselves in half. So I'm laying here trying to figure out just what in the world we're gonna do, and I guess I'm just gonna have to go buy one of these guys to clip that off and then redo it, because I really don't want to put a vampire tap on these. So that's what we're doing today, right by the poop chute.
I wasn't gonna say anything because I didn't want to gross you out, but I mean, I know you're laying right under it.
All right, so y'all are gonna get to see this. I have not practiced this whatsoever, but when we bought this camper, this light doesn't work. The reason why it doesn't work is because somehow that wire got cut. So I'm going to splice this back together, but I've got to find out where the power comes from. So I've turned on everything that I can think of. It would be a light. This has an on-off button here, so I got a feeling it's on all the time anyway. But we're going to try and find the other side of it. I'm going to test it out, and so y'all get to see this in real time. Question. I've got a feeling that this is the positive and the negative. So this has got this thing on it here. I don't want to tear this up. But if I had to bet, this looks like the negative and positive sides of that DC circuit. What I'm going to do is switch over to DC voltage. I would think that I could pull power off of that. Alright. So it's 14.6 volts. And if I turn it around to verify that, I should get a negative number because I've swapped the polarity on it. And I do. So this is the positive side, that's the negative side. The only problem is this doesn't look like it's reusable. I got a feeling we're gonna have to go to
Hardware store?
Hardware store.
I'm surprised. We never have to go to the hardware store when we're doing a project.
Buy Lowe's card or scan your front.
The first thing we're going to do, this is a 12-volt power cord. So I'm going to disconnect the battery, check and make sure the voltage is gone from that. Alright, so before y'all make fun of me for wearing gloves, last time my hands got all nasty and I had to use the dish brush to scrub them, which when Maria sees that, she's not going to be real happy with me. So I'm going to put on some poop gloves to keep my hands clean so I don't ruin another dish brush. So I've disconnected the battery. We're going to check and make sure that the voltage is gone from that wire before I cut it. There. You see any voltage on that? There's still voltage on that.
Oh.
Alright. So disconnecting the battery disconnect didn't work. Which tells me two things. The charger off the 50 amp service is behind the battery disconnect. So let's disconnect the 50 amp service. And so what that is it's basically de-energizing. Down to 0. Alright. We should be good. So now what I'm going to do, so I got all the ends stripped. Now this is what I'm going to put back in there. These have lugs on them. So the reason that I'm going this route is because I have two different wire sizes, and I know that'll go and fit in there, but then this smaller one, when you look at these, that smaller one, I'm not sure it got a good bite in there. So plus these have got gel in them, and I think these are just going to be a little waterproof, a little bit better. And try them out and see what I'm going to do. I know that's got to come down that far. I only want a strip to right there. All right, so we got those two done. Now we just have to feed each one of these down through. I'm going to take this wire here, and see, this is why that came undone.
Stretch so far.
Because, yeah. But if that comes undone again, now I just unscrew it and we'll be good to go. All right. Now I'm gonna turn the power back on. So now we have our light working again.
Woo! Aren't you the handiest man?
Now, before we wrap this up, let me show y'all one thing. We're set to DC voltage right there. As you know, DC has a positive and a negative side. Now, one of these is positive, one is negative. If you don't know which one, which I'm fairly certain that's the negative, you can put your meter in there, and then now look at your meter down there. Is that number positive or negative? What that means is, because it's a positive number, my positive lead is on the positive side of that circuit. If I swap them and put my common or my ground on and do it backwards, you see the
Yeah, it's
see
negative.
it's negative?
Yeah.
What that tells me is I have my positive probe on the wrong side. So this is negative, this is positive. That is what was on it. This is just normal everyday RV life. It's another reason why this thing is so important. That's gonna wrap up this little project. And now everything's back to being fixed on the RV. I'm glad y'all let me shed a little light on things today, and I hope you like it. Give me a like, subscribe, share if you can. Have a good one. Make sure you tune in Sunday, because we're going to go over 10 things that we could not, well, we could. We don't want to live without full-time and on the road. That's it for this. This one's done.